A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. When Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, in the days of King Herod, behold, magi from the east arrived in Jerusalem, saying, "Where is the newborn King of the Jews? We saw his star at its rising, and have come to do him homage." When King Herod heard this, he was greatly troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. Assembling all the chief priests and the scribes of the people, he inquired of them where the Christ was to be born. They said to him, "In Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it has been written through the prophet, 'And you, Bethlehem, land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah, since from you shall come a ruler, who is to shepherd my people Israel.'" Then Herod called the magi secretly, and ascertained from them the time of the star's appearance. He sent them to Bethlehem and said, "Go and search diligently for the child. When you have found him, bring me word, that I too may go and do him homage." After their audience with the king, they set out, and behold, the star that they had seen at its rising preceded them, until it came and stopped over the place where the child was. They were overjoyed at seeing the star, and on entering the house, they saw the child with Mary his mother. They prostrated themselves and did him homage. Then they opened their treasures and offered him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And having been warned in a dream not to return to Herod, they departed for their country by another way. The Gospel of the Lord.
Our Gospel passage on this solemnity of the Epiphany of the Lord Jesus comes from Matthew. It is the story of the magi who saw the star and they started searching for the newborn king. We have been reflecting on the theme of the light of God, which is the light of hospitality and welcome. This is the vision in the first reading from the prophet Isaiah. God's light is entrusted to the city Jerusalem, so that all the peoples and nations, seeing the light of God through and in Jerusalem, would feel welcome, would feel attracted to God. And it is the vocation of Jerusalem to welcome the nations, to welcome the peoples, to approach the light of God. In the second reading, St. Paul talks not about a holy city, but of his ministry. His mission was to bring the light of the gospel to peoples, especially the Gentiles, those who felt they did not belong to God, those who were considered outsiders to the holy people of God, the chosen people of God. Now, the light is Jesus. In Jesus, a new family is born, a new community, a new body is born, not just exclusively for the Jews, but open to everyone. In Jesus, the light of God's welcome and hospitality shines forth, especially to the Gentiles. In the Gospel, the Magi were the Gentiles. They represented the non-Jewish world. They were astrologers who could read the signs of history through the stars, but they were also a priestly class, so they could interpret the stars and the movements of the stars from a religious perspective. Their contact with the Jews in exile probably brought them to this idea or information that one day a newborn king will come to the Jews. And they saw the star, they saw the light. Even the Gentiles could see the light. Even the Gentiles could be attracted to the light. Even the Gentiles could follow the light. Where did they go? Well, as knowledgeable scientists and priests, and with their knowledge of the Jewish tradition, they said, okay, we will go to Jerusalem. The Jerusalem that the first reading talked about. That was logical. The city that was prophesied to possess the light. So we will stream to Jerusalem. What did they see in Jerusalem? They saw the scribes and Pharisees who knew that the new king of the Jews would be born in Bethlehem, but they did not care. They were not excited. They knew the information. They knew scriptures, but they were not moved to action. They were indifferent to the light. Then there was Herod, the king of Judea. What was his reaction? Panic. A newborn king? How about my power? So, it was not the light. It was a threat. A threat. A danger to his position. That was what they saw in Jerusalem. Look at what happens to Jerusalem when it fails to let the light of God shine forth. When indifference, ambition become the light, then the light of God is disregarded. But then they got the information. Bethlehem. Bethlehem. And so they followed the light. And it led them to the house where the baby was with his mother and father. And with their instinct, the religious instinct, coupled with their scientific knowledge, they knew this is the newborn king. And they treated him as king. But more than a king, they treated him as divine. They offered to him gold, frankincense, and myrrh. The light welcomed the Gentiles. This baby is the light of hospitality and welcome to outsiders. My dear brothers and sisters, our world right now excludes so many people. You go to countries, to cities, to families, and there is a tendency to exclude others out of fear, out of self-preservation. Hospitality is eroded by self-centeredness. And so many Gentiles continue to be excluded. This feast reminds us God has entrusted to us the light of Jesus, and that light is warm hospitality and welcome. A few days ago, we visited the shelter for street kids, Tulay ng Kabataan. And look at the transformation that happens to children when they feel true and sincere welcome, hospitality, respect, and love. Those who used to be violent become tender. Those who used to think only of their own food and their own good start to be caring to others. And those who have lost all sense of purpose now want to dream and to study. We can change people. We can change the world by being a bit open, hospitable, welcoming, not with our own light, but with the light of Christ. The word has been exposed. Let us now fulfill it. It has been a while now since we started this program in 2008. From day one, you have been with us, our dear friends, assisting us with open hands. We are inviting you once again to be our partners in this ministry. Following the mandate of the Lord to bring the good news to all, we can continue to broadcast and reach more people with your support, bringing the good news to them through television and the internet. Friends, your offering would be very much appreciated. Thank you. May the Lord reward you 100-fold.